This is Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A Tuesday morning like any other. Nobody had any idea that by noon, this neighborhood would be completely underwater. The flood warning came at 6 a.m. Most people didn't see it. Life was already moving, until the day it couldn't anymore. Within 3 hours, 11 inches of rain had fallen. Streets that had never flooded in living memory were completely gone, and the water was still rising. Families grabbed what they could and ran, a toddler in one arm, a photo in the other. In moments like these, you take what matters most, and you go. But not everything made it out. Some were left behind, unable to call for help, unable to follow, just waiting. Margaret Holloway, 67, had lived on Cypress Street for 31 years. Something made her pick up those binoculars that morning. Something made her look a little further down the street. And there, surrounded by rushing brown water on all sides, she saw something small, something gray, something clinging on. A tiny gray tabby cat, completely soaked, wrapped around the top of a wooden fence post with every ounce of strength she had left, alone in the middle of a flood, barely holding on. She had been up there for at least 2 hours. The water was still rising, and the fence post beneath her was beginning to lean.
He's doing it again,
Jake Tanner,
right on the edge.
29, and his partner Marcus Webb, 33, had already pulled 4 families to safety that morning. When the call came through, they didn't hesitate. Marcus spotted her first, grabbed Jake's arm, pointed. Jake pushed the engine harder. Jake cut the engine 20 feet out. He didn't want the wake to knock her off. They paddled the rest of the way by hand. Slow, careful, quiet. Jake crouched low at the front of the boat and just talked to her. Softly, calmly. The way you talk to anyone who is terrified and has nowhere left to go.
Jake, look.
3 long minutes
Over there,
passed.
to the left. Do you see
Then
that?
something shifted in that little cat. Her body loosened just enough. She sniffed his hand and let him pick her up. She collapsed against his chest, face buried in his life vest, claws hooked in. She was not letting go, and neither was he. Marcus already had the thermal blanket open. They wrapped her completely, only her face visible, blinking slowly, disoriented, but safe. Finally safe.
Are you hungry, kitty?
As the boat turned back, Jake looked behind him once. The fence post was still there, empty now, leaning hard. 30 seconds later, it slipped beneath the surface and disappeared. Amy Johansson, 16-year vet tech, was waiting at the staging area. Quick hands, practiced eyes. She checked everything, then looked up at Jake and gave him one single nod. He exhaled. They set her up in the back of the rescue van. Warm blankets, heat pack underneath, quiet and dim inside. The cat lay still, shaking, but breathing, heart beating strong. Amy dried her slowly with a soft towel, long, gentle strokes. The cat didn't resist. She just lay there and let the warmth find her. After 40 minutes, Amy placed a bottle cap of warm chicken broth near her nose, stepped back, waited. The cat lifted her head, sniffed, and drank every single drop. That tiny act, choosing to eat, meant she was choosing to stay. Everyone watching through that van window felt it at the same time. She looked up at Amy when the cap was empty, then looked back at the cap. Amy laughed out loud for the first time all day. By evening, every shelter was full, every foster home taken. Amy stood in the empty parking lot and looked at the cat through the van window. The cat looked back. Amy called her husband. He said, "I'll set up the spare bathroom." The cat inspected every inch of that bathroom, then walked to the center of the room, sat down, and decided it was acceptable. She ate a full bowl of food, groomed herself for 11 straight minutes, then curled into a perfect circle on the fleece bed and was asleep within 2 minutes. Amy sat on the bathroom floor beside her for a long time, just listening to her breathe. Outside, the city was still dealing with the flood. In that small, warm bathroom, everything was still. She slept 14 hours straight. When Amy checked at 6 a.m., those eyes opened instantly. Bright,
We're almost there.
alert,
I need the
ready.
humidified oxygen running
Then
and a
came
heat
the
source
most
ready.
enormous
Move quickly.
full-body stretch and yawn. She was ready for whatever came next. That morning, she discovered the bathroom rug and attacked it without warning or mercy. Then sat down, licked one paw, walked away. Complete composure. Dr. Patricia Monroe gave her a full examination the next day. No microchip, 2 years old, perfectly healthy, just a cat who had been in the wrong place at the wrong time and held on long enough for the right people to find her. They named her River. She had come from the water. She had survived the water, and she moved through a room exactly the same way. Quiet, fluid, and completely unstoppable. River came home with a clean bill of health and a brand new pale blue collar fastened gently around her neck. The moment Amy set her down, River sat still for about 3 seconds, just long enough to realize something was different. Then her back paw shot up and she scratched at that collar with absolute determination. It didn't budge. She tried again. Nothing. The collar stayed. Her dignity stayed too. And that was simply that. Jake came to visit that Saturday. When Amy opened the door, he didn't ask where River was. He just came inside, sat down cross-legged on the living room floor, and waited. He didn't reach for her. Didn't call her name. He had learned a long time ago that you don't go to a cat. You give a cat the space to come to you. River watched him from the couch for a long moment.
We need an
Then she
update from the
jumped
medical
down,
tent, Stat.
walked across
Copy.
the room,
I'm heading there now.
sniffed his
And
boot,
get that radio checked.
sniffed his knee, looked up at his face, and climbed directly into his lap. She pressed her head firmly against his chin. Jake went completely still.
Okay, I understand.
His hand rested lightly on her back.
Yes, we can arrange that
There was
for
nowhere
tomorrow
else he
morning.
wanted to be. Marcus came the following week with a wand toy that had long orange feathers on the end. River saw it before he even pulled it fully out of the bag. What followed was 20 solid minutes of the most committed, airborne, full-speed cat behavior anyone in that room had ever seen.
There you go,
She launched off the
sweetie.
couch, spun in midair,
safe and
skidded
sound in
across
your
the
new
hardwood
carrier.
floor, rolled on her back, and kicked with both hind feet at full force. Dave was filming from the doorway, shoulders shaking with laughter. Amy had tears running down her face. And then River sat down in the center of the floor, licked her paw once, stood up, and walked calmly back to her couch corner as if none of it had ever happened. Marcus looked at Amy and said, "I think she's going to be just fine." Amy found herself standing in the bedroom doorway one evening just watching her. River was on the windowsill, silhouetted against the fading evening light. Outside on the fence, a fat gray squirrel was making its way along the rail. River was completely locked in, tail swishing slowly, mouth making that soft, rapid chattering sound cats make when prey is close, but just out of reach. She was warm. She was full. She was home. And Amy stood there thinking about that fence post, about the floodwater, about the way River had looked when Jake lifted her off, soaked and rigid with fear, not sure if she was being saved or taken. 5 days. That was all it had been between that fence post and this windowsill, between terrified and content, between lost and completely, entirely found. River was officially adopted on September 28th. She got a new plush bed, 3 new toys, and a window perch installed specifically for her squirrel-watching responsibilities. She considers it hers. She is correct. Somewhere in Baton Rouge tonight, the streets are dry and the water is long gone, and a small gray cat named River is asleep on a warm couch in a house that is completely and entirely hers. Full. Safe. Loved. She held on through the water and the cold and the fear. Held on with
being very
everything she
brave.
had. Long enough
Heart
for the
sounds
right people to
perfect.
find her.
And the abdomen feels
they
nice
came.
and soft.
They always come when someone decides to look. If her story moved you even a little, share it. For every small, frightened animal still out there tonight, clinging on, waiting for someone to turn the boat around.